Today on Ask This Old House.
I'll show you a high-tech way to make a forced air heating and cooling system comfortable.
We have this new window that we had put in over here, and unfortunately the contractor left us with a little bit of a mess down here. There's this big hole here and then a little gouge right in the middle of the wall.
Sooner or later, every homeowner is going to have to patch a wall. Well, I'm going to show you some pointers on how to do it right.
And it's tall plastic with a motor. What is it?
I saw it this summer when I went to camp.
Camp?
Band camp?
For what?
No, crane camp.
Crane camp. That's next on Ask This Old House.
Scott, I'm looking for Ethernet. Can I borrow this here?
You got it, no problem.
I got a perfect use for it today.
Hey, good morning, Richard.
How are you?
All right, where are you off to?
I'm going to go do a story about zoning on an HVAC system
Using a screw gun and Ethernet?
and one other tool, a smartphone.
How's that
I
possible?
can't wait to show it to you. It's so cool.
All right, I'll check it out. Hey, Tommy, what's up? What are you working on?
I'm actually off to show a homeowner how to patch a hole in a wall.
Sounds like a simple project.
It is a simple project, but it's all in the technique.
Ain't it always?
Yep.
Right. Hey, good morning, Scott.
Kevin,
What do you got there?
well, I picked up this tool, about it, and trying it out a little bit here. So we know that splicing has two parts to it, making the copper wires go together and putting a wire nut on snug. Normally we just go like that and just give it a little turn, but you gotta have calluses sometimes. So this tool here allows you to put it on there, really crank it, get some leverage. It's insulated, so there's no conductivity here. And it's got this V-notch here, so we could push the wires into the box.
How clever.
And you flip it around. If you have to do the opposite, kind of pull the wires out.
Huh.
And then lastly, making a hook on the wire so you can get it on an outlet. It's pretty neat. It's got a little hole right here. You just put it right there, make your little hook.
So it's kind of like a multi-tool for electricians.
Yeah.
So if you've got that, are you going to give up your linemen's?
No, I wasn't planning on doing that, but you can have that and I'll keep my linemen's.
Homeowner tool.
Exactly.
All right.
The majority of homes in America, about 90% actually, have some sort of ducted heating or cooling system. There's a central furnace or air conditioner like this, generally in the basement, maybe in the attic, or in the garage. And it's got a unit like this, a furnace, to make the air warm. This is the cooling coil to make the air cold. There's a fan to push the air through a main trunk. Now this main trunk has branches right here that go to individual rooms. At the end of those branches, there are registers in the rooms. The air also has to get back through a return like this, back to here, to be reheated or recooled. Now, as somebody who works on these systems, I will tell you, there is one complaint that we always get from homeowners. It is that it is uncomfortable. The wrong temperature from room to room, from floor to floor. They also complain that it's noisy, dusty, or drafty. Now, there's a challenge to getting these things right from the beginning. You need the right size unit, furnace, the right size duct, the right size branch, the right size register, the right size return. You need to be sure the ducts are sealed and insulated, and that generally doesn't happen. Today we're actually going to see a new system that actually fixes these systems and makes them comfortable. So Dip, you invented this cool new system, but you're not from the HVAC industry.
No, I actually come from the defense industry where I worked on missile defense.
So you're a rocket scientist.
You know, we were engineers that would hit bad guy missiles out of the sky with other missiles. And as we built those systems, you know, I got really good at understanding the different sensors you needed to make that happen, which is temperature, pressure, humidity.
Sure.
You know, and my career brought me around to different homes and apartments around the country, and I learned that, you know, they were very uncomfortable.
Every apartment you were in was uncomfortable.
Every single apartment, you know, and it was almost a dozen of them, actually. And, you know, what we learned was if you knew the temperature, pressure, and humidity, you could solve the problem.
You could fix it.
Yeah, and that's what we've done.
I'm dying to see the system.
Can't wait to show you. We're installing one now.
I've always zoned ducted systems using conventional motorized dampers. You know, you cut them down into the ductwork, and you can have a couple of zones, upstairs versus down.
Right, we actually zone right here at the vent itself. And here's a typical vent that you might see in a home.
So this is a floor register that's got the damper in the back. Homeowners always try to close these off and make all kinds of noise.
That's right, and if you look at ours, they look very similar, but that's where the similarities end.
All right.
And it all starts here in the front as you pop the faceplate off.
So it's
here.
battery operated, no wires?
No wires, 3 to 5 years of battery life on normal AA batteries. And we actually have a circuit board here that's got a little radio in it and a brain.
So that's the brains.
That's the brains. Now, here's what's really cool. On the back here, we've taken a lot of the same sensors that we used in missile defense, actually, to sense the temperature and the pressure of the airflow coming out of the duct.
Right, so there's a sensor right there. Yep.
Right there in the back. And what's really cool about this vent is it also opens and closes, as you see here.
And so here's the damper blade. Oh, look at that.
That's right.
So cool.
Silent.
And quiet, yeah.
That's right. But that's not enough just to understand what's happening at the vent from a temperature perspective.
Okay.
And so what we did was we built a sensor that really unlocks what's happening in the room.
So this goes right over a conventional outlet. You plug that in, and you still have your 2 outlets there.
That's right. And what you also have here is USB that allows you to charge your devices,
Great.
which is fun.
Everybody
but it
needs
also,
that.
Yeah, and it senses the temperature, pressure, and humidity of the room it's in.
Okay, so one of these plug in the wall air temperature sensors for every register?
Well, actually, 1 per room, and then you replace every register in the house with one of our intelligent ones here.
Ready to start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems simple enough. This is the right one for here?
That's right. Same size. Look at that.
That's pretty simple. Where are you gonna put this?
So, you know, you can really plug it in anywhere, but for now, we can actually plug it right in here. So now that we've replaced every vent in the house with one of the intelligent vents, and we have the sensors in every room of the home, they all communicate with each other through the hub.
Okay.
And what happens is they send all that information that they're collecting all the time right here to the hub. And the way the hub works is it just plugs right into the wall here.
Power.
And then you hook it up to the homeowner's internet connection here. And then what the hub will do is take all that information, mash it all together, and get you room by room temperature control. So here's how a homeowner would control their home.
Off the smartphone.
You have
like
it.
everything nowadays.
Exactly.
So this is our house right here?
This is the house right here.
So I can see master bath, kitchen, dining room, guest. That's cool, living room. So do they still have a thermostat?
Well, you know, you have one, and that thermostat is basically now a switch that tells the heater and cooler when to turn on, but it's really the hub making the decisions on
and all
what
those
to do.
sensors are in the rooms.
You have it.
All right, so, okay, so I can set the temperature, turn it up or down anywhere I want.
That's right. Also, what we have here are scenes. So let's just say it's time for bed. I can click bed here, and the home will basically adjust to the rooms that I'm in, set them the way I want, and the rooms I'm not in, for instance, the kitchen, you know, will get shut down.
Right. And you can change those scenes based on time of day or anything
Exactly. You can schedule those scenes.
That is so cool. So when I think about zoning, though, it totally worries me to death that you close off enough zones, you're going to either burn up the furnace and make it fail or freeze the air conditioner.
Right, and now we're back on airflow and pressure, as we talked about in the early days, right? And what you have to do is make sure you have enough airflow. And so because the hub is making all of those decisions, it makes sure you never close off so many vents that you create a problem, which actually prolongs the life of your HVAC, because we're maintaining that airflow.
You'll always have the right airflow going across the furnace, so you won't burn it up, you won't freeze the coil, you won't have a service call.
You have it, exactly.
You have my attention. I'm so glad you switched from rocket science to HVAC.
Me
We've
too.
needed this for a while.
I'm finally comfortable.
Richard, you have been preaching about zoning your entire career, and I haven't seen you this excited in a long time.
I wish every system was zoned, but only 4 to 5% of American houses have zoning.
That's crazy. All those houses with one zone?
That's right. So think about every automobile. What has it got? 4 zones, at least 4 zones, 1 for each seat.
Right.
Okay. And the issue is, it hasn't been done. Everything's been done on low bid. So you put the furnace in, you run the ductwork, run the registers. So then for us, we've only had this as our choice, which are motorized dampers. This has to be wired. This is a blade type here. Here's a round damper. Now, if somebody didn't do that on the initial install, for us to go in after the fact, we have to find a place where we can cut in the right damper that's going to control the right area. But that sometimes the ductwork, has a supply that goes down and will feed up to the bedroom and down to the playroom. How do you zone that?
So these are good, they're just not good enough.
That's right.
Okay,
So,
but with this one, you've got ultimate control.
the possibilities are endless. You know, you put, as you saw, we put this into the floor register or the ceiling register. You have a room sensor in each room. You control it precisely. nicely. And the possibilities for residential are unbelievable. But how about commercial too? Commercial, everybody's fighting about the thermostat, right?
Yes.
You've got a cubicle, a doctor's office, dentist's office, you're all freezing or hot, and now you get a perfect control.
And if we're installing it in our houses, what about cost? Because I saw a lot of devices going into that house.
Yeah, well, every system needs to have a hub like this. You need to have a smart thermostat to be able to talk to the system. You need a room sensor, an air sensor in each zone or room, and then the right number of registers. So typically we're going to see 7 room sensors and 11 registers. That means all that hard goods are probably $3,000.
$3,000. So it's a decent amount of money, but you're finally going to have comfort in the house, and you've got incredible control.
You fix it.
Right. So are we looking at the future of zoning right here?
You know, I've been in this game for a long time, you know, better part of 4 decades. I've never seen a product that could make a bigger impact for comfort or savings.
Wow, that's saying a lot. All right, well, thanks for bringing it
Stay
to
in the
us.
zone, man.
Okay, fellas, here it is. It is this big plastic cylinder. It has a hopper on the inside, and the giveaway here, it is operated by a motor.
I know exactly what it is. Oh, I got it on
These are
the
getting so easy. These
I
messes
got
up.
it.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Composting. Takes a little while to do, right? 3 to 6 months, you put stuff out.
Sure.
Well, what do you do if you have a leftover blueberry?
Leftover blueberry.
You put it in your mini composter.
Big guy like you couldn't
Put it
finish
inside.
one blueberry.
Lock it down. Ready? Little water, little air,
Wow.
and in 3.2 minutes, you have compost.
got this much dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
What for you?
Blueberry.
Gonna sell like hotcakes.
Well, I don't think it's a composter. I saw it this summer when I went to camp.
Camp?
Band camp?
For what?
No, crane camp.
Crane camp.
I saw it in the back of the penny shop. I saw a small listing. There wasn't many people there, but I wanted to learn how to run a backhoe.
Very important.
You know, you never know. This other gig could end.
Yeah, you big demand in plumbing for those.
So I think I'm pretty good at
That's
it.
your little
You
trick.
ready?
Yeah, ready?
You got it?
Yeah. That's up.
Up.
Yeah.
Down.
Okay, down. That's down.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Sideways.
That's next summer.
Didn't pay the extra money?
It was $350 for the week. It was
Your
crazy.
job is safe. Trust
Yeah, I
me.
guess.
You know, I told you I know what this is because I have them on the job site.
Oh, yeah.
What do
here
you
we go.
have, Tom?
There we go.
There's a lot of different tasks on the job site. You know, the plumber, the electrician,
Host.
the carpenter,
There's
the
never a host on the
landscaper.
job site.
We have a host.
Only we have one.
Hey, and I'm always trying to put stuff together, and you want to make sure that it holds together, so you want to use glue.
Oh, glue.
This is a glue dispenser.
Wow.
Get
It
out of
holds,
here.
yeah,
This is a
holds-
biggie.
Yeah, well, I have a special guy that does it. It just so happens his name is Gluey,
Gluey, glue eye.
but we nickname him Sticky.
Gluey. It's called sticky.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this actually holds about 2 gallons of glue, and it holds the quick setting and the fast setting glue.
Which do you
So
use?
Wait.
well, it depends on how fast I want to get something done.
Quick.
So let me show you it.
Yeah, please. Please.
So when you need something stuck together, doesn't matter what it is. You
Hey,
just call
Gluey.
Gluey. Oh, Sticky. He likes to be called Sticky. Hey, I need some quick setting right here. Halfway down, but I want a slow setting down here.
Oh, yeah.
So he can dispense whatever you want. It saved a lot of money and a lot of time.
Saved a lot of money.
Sticky all day. Walks around
no
the
end.
job site.
There's no end. Okay. The reason, have you been sniffing the glue? The reason you guys did not know what this is because it has to do with the consumption of beer, right? So now, you know when you go to the pub and you get a nice pour and you get that big frothy head?
Perfect.
Perfect. You can't always get that at home. But now you can. Tommy, will you stick this in there down in
Yeah.
the front right there?
Sure, I can
Here,
handle
hold
that.
right there. Don't let So if you wanted to
that
pour
goes right
yourself a
into the
nice
can?
frothy beer, look, the pump goes right in there. Put the tube in. Good? I
think so.
Lock it up. Now, this device will ensure that you can pour yourself a nice frothy beer. Check this
Oh,
out.
look at that.
Oh, yeah. So you get the beer in there. It pumps the whole thing out. Now, hang on. Is that enough head for you?
Like a dark beer.
Pull it back, and you can top it off.
Look at that. What a difference.
Look at that.
Huh? So while you're sniffing glue, I'm drinking beer.
Yeah, but my job's stuck together. Hi, Allison.
Hey, Tommy.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well,
Thanks
thank you.
so much for coming over.
It was my pleasure.
Great.
I love your old house.
Oh, thank you.
Nice stairway. How old is this house?
It was built in the 1750s.
1750s. Let's see, that's actually older than the United States.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Well, you know, I grew up in old houses like this, especially of this era right here, so I really like these places.
Oh, great. We love it too. Come in through here to the living room.
All
Let me
right.
show you.
Oh, looks like it's a freshly painted room.
Yeah, we have some patching to do, as you'll see.
Yeah.
We have this new window that we had put in over here.
Yeah.
The former owners had replaced the windows about 20 years ago, but they really weren't efficient at all, so we just had them redone. And unfortunately, the contractor left us with a little bit of a mess down here. There's this big hole here, and then a little gouge right in the middle of the wall.
I can't believe they left it like that.
Yeah, and I have no idea how to patch plaster, so that's why we called you.
All right, well, I think that's a pretty easy fix. I have some things in the truck, and if you want to learn, I'm going to show you.
Absolutely.
All right, let me go get my
Sounds
stuff.
good.
All right, Allison, I brought a couple of samples of some walls so I can show you what's going on in different techniques.
Great.
Now, the way this home was originally plastered was this system right here. This is actually called a plaster and lath system. These wooden strips are about 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe 1 1/4, 1.5 inches wide, with a space on them, were actually applied to the entire wall over the structure, and then they would mix up a base coat plaster and go over the wooden lath and force it in between the joints. The plaster going through the joints would sag down and create a key that would lock the plaster to the wall.
Okay.
They then skim over that with a finish coat called the skim coat. But what you have is something different. What you have is actually a gypsum wallboard, no lath, but you have the skim coat on top of it. Now, lots of times you're going to see a product like this. This is a gypsum wallboard, also known as drywall. It has a paper on it that's finished. And the drywall actually goes over the studs. You don't skim coat this part of the wall. You tape the joint and go over that with a joint compound, sand it, and paint the wall surface. It doesn't matter which method you have in your house, to patch those holes are all the same.
Great.
All right, the first patch we're going to do is right here. This little patch right here is not going to need any reinforcement. Also, if you have a picture on the wall, you move it, you want to patch that hole, somebody dents it with a doorknob or something
Happens all
like
the
that.
time.
Yeah, piece of furniture. This is actually a patching spackle.
Okay.
So we'll take the cover off. I'm going to give you this knife.
Okay.
And I want you to dig out a little bit, put it on your trowel, and then force it right into the crack. All right, yeah, load it up good. All right, now take it and force it right onto the crack. Push it hard right in there. There you go. All right, now you're going to start and put a little more right in there and just lightly do it now. All right, now take the knife and come up, turn it this way, and drag it down, just
Okay.
like that. There you go. All right, that's done. Don't play with it anymore.
Okay.
Once that's dry, you may want to sand it a little bit and paint it.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, great.
Now the other hole, we're going to use something a little bit different. Now it's a pretty deep hole.
Yep.
We don't want all the compound to go into the hole. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this metal patch right here, and you can see this mesh tape around the perimeter and stuck to it. And on the back, it's sticky, so it'll stick to the wall.
Okay.
Now the idea of it is to cover the entire hole like that and then use compound right over it. But I don't want to use all of this metal, so I'm going to make this patch a little bit smaller. All right, now that I've cut the strip, I'm just going to stick it right on the wall over the hole,
Okay.
just like that. Now you're going to do the joint compound. I'll take the cover off for you.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is, first of all, feel the difference in weight of that
Oh,
as
it's a
opposed
lot
to the spackle.
heavier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot heavier.
A lot heavier.
All right, so now what I want you to use the narrow trowel to dig it out of the bucket. Get plenty on there. There you go. Perfect. All right, now just drag it right across the metal any way you want. Right onto the wall, right across. There you go. Push right in there. There you go. Okay, take any excess. Don't let it spill it there. Get it right in there. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, a little more. Work it around. There, perfect. Now let's take this 4-inch trowel.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is lightly drag it across the wall like that.
Okay.
We don't want to take it all off, but I want you to lightly bring it across there to try to make it as flat as you can.
Okay.
Now what I want you also to do is keep this side of the trowel tight to the wall, bring the top out about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to drag it right across.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Go right up tight to the underside of the windows. That's right. Now drag it right across and don't stop. Perfect. Don't touch it. Now do the same thing here, only this time you're going to keep this side tight to the wall and this side up, about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch. Look at that. All right, you're good.
Oh, that's it?
Yep, that's it for now.
It seems kind of thin.
Well, it is thin, and I like to put on light coats and build it up.
Okay.
A lot of people think that they should put it on real thick and then sand it. It's a lot more work to do that way, and it's really messy.
Oh, okay.
So what I want you to do is wait till tomorrow. This will dry. Put a couple more thin coats on.
Okay.
Once that's dry, you may have to sand it lightly, put a primer on it, paint it, and send me a picture of it.
Okay, I will. I think it looks better already.
All right, I'm going to leave you that compound so you'll have plenty to do.
Well, Tommy, you're a good teacher, but you know what? I think she's got the touch.
She sure does. I could use her on the job site.
So these patches are great. I mean, not only do they make them in different sizes, but as we saw there, you can cut them to the size you want. You don't have to fill that hole.
Right. If you fill that hole with a lot of drywall, you'd have to wait a lot longer for it to dry. It will also crack, and then you have to use the tape anyways.
Yeah. So these are great, although I've seen you patch drywall, not with these patches, but by actually cutting a piece of drywall for the patch itself.
Exactly. Well, let me show you right here. If you have a wall like this and you have a hole in it,
Well, there is no hole in it.
Well, there is now.
Look
All
at
right.
you.
So you have a hole in the wall. Now you want to patch it. So you have to cut a patch to fit that hole.
Yes.
Well, that could be really tricky, all right?
Look how irregular that is.
Right. So now what I want to do is I actually want to cut a piece of drywall a little bigger than the hole that's in the wall. Now I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to hold it up to the wall. I want to mark the orientation so it's over the hole. Trace it. Now I cut around the lines with a jab saw, making the hole just a little bit bigger than the patch that I want to use. This piece of wood I put in here is a backer to screw my patch to the wall. Once the patch is in the hole, I need to tape around the perimeter of the crack. Then I cover the tape with the joint compound. And you just want to keep it nice and thin and build it up after it dries.
All right, another good patch, Tommy. You definitely have the touch.
Oh, thanks.
All right, well, we'd love to hear from you, so keep your letters and your emails coming. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor
And I'm Tom Silva.
for Ask This Old House.
All right,
You gonna
see
punch
how
it again?
simple that was? Come over here. I'm going to punch you.